Happy Halloween. It is a terrifying Thursday here with Unlocked with Key and BB. We are here to celebrate Halloween with the boys. We are here to have a little bit of fun, talk about a little bit of ball. We got a lot on the docket for today. We're going to talk about who's going to make it to the college football playoff. We're going to talk a little bit about Thursday night football. And our boy Maxi Stats has a Maxi Immortal lock for the Thursday night football game, New York Jets versus the Houston Texans. Can the New York Jets right the ship? We're going to talk about all of that today. And who is going to be that person, that player, that wide receiver, that running back that is going to really win you your fantasy football league? We get all into that right now. Happy Halloween, BB. How are we feeling today, brother?
Feeling good. Day 4 doing the show. Before we get things started, I want to give a shout out to Mike and Corey back in the studio. Appreciate these guys letting us do this. And once again, trusting two nobodies to use their platform to create a show. We're excited.
Absolutely, man. Like, we are very excited. We are beyond blessed that Rogue Sports Media has sponsored this show, given us a platform to do what we love to do every single day, Monday through Friday. And that's talk about ball. And that's just to have a good time and smile a little bit. I hope somehow, some way we're able to make you smile today, and we're going to celebrate all things sports. It's not just about the game, and this is just not some podcast. This is a passion, and this is something that we have been doing for a long time already. We decided, why not share our knowledge, share our love for the sport and all things surrounding, and let's do that. Let's go ahead and get that rolling. And Rogue Sports Media has given us the very opportunity to do that today. And it's a beautiful day here in Charlotte, and I'm sure it's the same in Greenville as well, BB. It's a gorgeous Halloween, and I've seen a lot of spooky costumes. I'm not gonna lie with you, man. I've seen some clowns, I've seen some devils, I saw a guy that was a Zen pouch pillow on my TikTok feed today. It's like, all right, man, you know what? To each their own. On the Pat McAfee show, we even saw a guy who was AJ Hawk on top, Tua Tagovailoa on the bottom. That to me is the Hawk and the Tua, and I think that's what he was going for. There have been some juicy costumes out there. Are you feeling like you're going to dress up this weekend, BB?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The Halloween, that's not really my cup of tea. But I did see the Pat McAfee show today, and some of those costumes were pretty hilarious. Was the one in the full panda suit?
Yeah, that was fire.
I mean, he had to be burning up in that thing, dude.
Oh my God. He took off the hat midway. But the closest thing that I've got is this damn cowboy, baby. I could rock a little bit of cowboy. That's what we were talking about, Trayvon Diggs and some of his fellas. We can throw on a cowboy hat, and, you know, that's the best thing we got for you today. But tip of the cap to you guys. Thank you so much for coming out. This is Unlocked with Key and BB, and we are more than excited to get into all things sports right now. We also have a guest with us today who drops some of the best bets in the game. He's officially 1-0. He has brought the boom ever since day one, and he's going to be bringing the boom for a long time. The NASCAR pit crew tire changer, absolute dog of Maxi Betts, a guy who knows football more than anybody else. And if you want a stat pulled up, all you got to do, don't go to Wikipedia. Don't go to Google. Don't go to StatMuse. You go to our man, Maxi Stats.
Yes.
Maxi, let's go, man. How we feeling today, man?
I'm feeling good, man. You know, Halloween, absolutely beautiful day out here in Charlotte. Went and played a little round of golf this morning. Played awful, but, you know, that's okay. It's more about the vibes anyway, so.
Yep.
Where were we at this afternoon? The 500 Club?
500 Club, absolutely.
Okay. That's where we play all the time.
That's one of the cleanest courses in Charlotte. I will give you that. But yeah, that's the thing about golf is just sometimes you might, you know, play like shit, but you're really out there for the good time. You might have, I'm sure you had a couple silver bullets rolling early this morning today, and we're feeling good. It's Halloween, baby. It's Halloween.
It's Halloween.
Looks like you're dressed up as an Atlanta liver.
Super.
I mean, you have Super Atlanta fan.
No, I'm with BB on this one. I'm not really the biggest Halloween person. I feel like the older you get, kind of the more you lose interest. So
To see Kevon's costume tonight. I'm sure this guy's got something wicked planned for up his sleeve.
I'm gonna be honest. I mean, I'm right there with you. I mean, in the past, I've thrown on some fits. I've thrown on some fits like a toddler, but I've definitely I've fallen off of that. I think I'm kind of in the stage where it's like, all right, I'm not a big Halloween guy until maybe we're in a house and we're giving out candy to some of the kids. You know what I'm saying? The candy that I keep in the back of my pocket.
I think I can speak for all y'all when I say this, but I'd personally rather sit down and watch Thursday night football than go out and dress up as some rinky-dink character and do whatever. So
you'd love to watch a Braves game, huh?
Yeah, I mean, Max is definitely Max rather be patrolling statistical streets than the streets out in the town. But we are here to talk about ball. Halloween is it's a great holiday for some. It's a decent holiday for others, but we're celebrating all things nonetheless. And today we are going to talk about a little bit of football just for you, Maxie. We're going to get away from the Halloween side of things and we're going to talk about some college football. There's a big college football slate this weekend, and a lot of teams are officially in do or die time, where if you lose this weekend, you might be out of the playoff. And with where the league is right now, where college football is right now, if you're not in the playoff, what are you playing for? Because there are no more bowl games, really. I mean, you can try and fight for some pride rivalry game at the end of the year, but if you lose around, week 9, week 10, your season's over with. And so we're going to talk a little bit about the college football playoff. There's some big time implications this weekend. Penn State and Ohio State are playing this weekend. We got Alabama versus LSU. Ole Miss is traveling into Arkansas. We have multiple teams that are on the edge, and you got to win some of these big time football games. And I have to say, for Ohio State and Ryan Day, if you lose, now you have 2 losses. Are you still in the playoff? I know you lost to number 1 and potentially number 3, but having 2 losses is not good. And Ryan Day could be a guy that is going to be canned if he loses too many games this year with the roster that they have. So we're going to let's get into this. Like, what teams do you guys see? We're going to start with you, BB. What teams do you see sliding in, or do you have any teams that are sliding out late? I think Indiana is a team who is now undefeated. They got to play Ohio State. They're one of those teams that, hey, that might be the surprise team that makes it into the playoff. BB, who do you got making the playoff this year?
Do we want my full 12?
Let's get the full 12.
Okay, my understanding of the playoff, right? But correct me if I'm wrong. It's the Big 4 conferences, the winner of those, in the group of 5, correct? And then the highest remaining seeds until 12, correct?
That sounds about right to me.
Okay. My number 1 seed in the country right now, I think they're making the playoff regardless, Oregon Ducks. Then we got Georgia Bulldogs, Ohio State Buckeyes, Miami Hurricanes, Texas Longhorns, Tennessee, BYU. Give me the Mormons.
BYU is rolling right now in the Big 12, and I mean they just jumped in and they are taking that thing over. And BYU has been an absolute wagon this year. Continue on your list, BB.
Tiger _bets is a big BYU guy, so I'm gonna ride with him. Then we got the Clemson Tigers, Boise State. I think they're the group of 5 team that gets in. They kind of seem unstoppable at this point with GT in the backfield. I think they only lost to Oregon by 3, who's the bona fide number 1 team in the country right now. It's pretty impressive. I think Indiana sneaks in with one loss. Keith said they're undefeated right now. I do think they lose at OSU, but still think they sneak in. They got a great coach. And we got Alabama. I got them winning out, sneaking into the playoff on the back door. And then maybe a surprise, a hometown pick. The Ole Miss Rebels finishing out the season, beating Georgia. I think they sneak in maybe a 12 seed. So that's my 12.
Ole Miss is going to they got a long road to get in. I feel like there may be some form of bias to that pick, BB.
Definitely.
I know that someone you live with went to Ole Miss. The wife went to Ole Miss, and that may or may not have swayed your 12th pick there. Ole Miss does have a shot. They do have a sweet, small shot to get in to the playoff, and I like it. I like what you got going on there, Maxie. Let's hear who you have going into the playoff this year.
All right, so starting off, I've got Oregon coming out of the Big Ten. I've got Georgia coming out of the SEC as the winners. I've got Miami coming out of the ACC. Huge Cam Ward guy. And then I've got for the final Big Four, I've got Iowa State. I think they have a crazy good defense. So I think their defense will be able to win them the Big 12. And then for the at-large teams, I've got Texas, Ohio State, Clemson, Indiana, Notre Dame, Alabama, Penn State, and then the Group 5, Boise State. I think the committee's going to do whatever they can to get Ashton Jeanty in the playoff. I mean, guys, I mean, he's making highlight plays every other down. I mean, I think if they win out, he's there without a doubt in the playoffs. So.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like you guys agree on the Group 5 team. Boise State is going to make it into the college football playoff this year, as well as so Max has Clemson in. BB, you do not have faith in the Clemson Tigers to make it in?
I had Clemson in there. I had Miami and Clemson, 2 ACCs getting in.
Okay, 2 ACC squads going in. That's on me, brother. So ACC has been kind of pooped on this year. People are saying the ACC's weak, but I mean, we got 2 teams in right now. Clemson has been rolling. Cade Klubnik has been rolling, and Cam Ward looks like he could potentially be the number 1 overall pick, and everybody else surrounding him is doing just enough to get that team into the playoff. So how do you guys feel about a team like LSU, who is playing against Alabama this week at home in Death Valley, night game? If they can win that game, that might put them in potential spot to make it into the playoff this year as well.
That Bama LSU, I believe, is actually on November 9th. I think Bama has a bye week this week, but nonetheless, does LSU play this week, or are they on a bye week as well? I have no idea.
I'm not sure.
LSU.
But nonetheless, I don't have LSU getting in, and I think Bama's only tough game remaining is LSU, and it is at LSU, night game, Baton Rouge. Just saw them put a beat down on Ole Miss and LSU, night game. But I have Bama winning this game. Like I said, I think it's their only tough game remaining, and if they win this one, I think they're into the college football playoff. And I don't believe in Nussmeier at QB. He hasn't shown me enough. I don't think their defense is overly talented. I'm pretty sure Harold Perkins is out for the year. So don't think they got enough to beat the Tide.
No, not with Big 30 on the roster. I'll tell you that right now. I don't know why I thought that game was this weekend. I mean, my research needs to be a little bit better. That's on me, fellas.
It's still a big game. It's still a big game.
Still a very big game.
A bye this week too, so both teams are going to be coming off bye, but I think Bama will be able to handle them pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean, a friend of the show, Caden Jones, said a couple weeks ago that Alabama has their swagger back. We got to see if Jalen Milroe can do a little bit of the same, get his swagger back. Because I mean, last year late in the season, Milroe was elite. People were talking this year about Jalen Milroe as being, a potential top 5 pick, one of the first quarterbacks off the board. And he has thrown multiple interceptions that are just unacceptable. And Alabama is going to need to full-fledged bring that swagger back. Hopefully this bye week is going to help that team out a good bit. But, hey, as Caden Jones says, they have their swagger back. So let's see what they can do next week. Big 30, says Caden Jones. Big
30's in the chat. Can we stay on college football before we move on? Is there any chance for getting Mr. Kevon's top 12 going to the playoff?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Yeah, I mean, I can give a top 12. I agree with you guys. Oregon, the teams that are definitely in are Oregon, Georgia, I believe Texas is definitely going to make it in as well. I think Ohio State is going to be a team that can roll late. They do have some big games. They've got Penn State coming up. They got Indiana and always Michigan. I know people say Michigan's have fallen off this year, but a rivalry game is a rivalry game. Miami, Cam Ward is a certified dog, and he's going to carry that team through the ACC. And I really do hope that we get to see a Miami versus Clemson in the ACC championship here in Charlotte late in the season. That is going to be absolutely lit. The last couple years, it's been – yeah, I'll definitely be there. That'll probably be the only game I go to in Bank of America Stadium this year. It's always been like right around like New Year's too. So that'll be epic if we could get Miami versus Clemson. But I believe Tennessee is going to make their way in. Notre Dame is not going to lose another game. They're not going to have to play in a conference championship. So that's going to be a team that's in. The Big 12 team that's going to make it in is BYU for me, not Iowa State. So that's 8 teams there. I don't think Texas A&M. I believe Texas A&M loses this week to South Carolina, so they're going to be out. Clemson's going to make it in. Bama's going to make it in. And then that's where it kind of turns into a toss-up. Boise State makes it in. There's going to be one slot left open that I believe a team undefeated. They would have to be undefeated. But Army could be the 12th team. Army could be the 12th team putting on for the USA and making it into the playoff. And that would be freaking electric. When's the last time that y'all have heard an Army, Navy, Air Force being any form of relevant?
That would be insane to see. 2 group of 5 teams in. But is that a little bias from the ex-Army commit, Kevon Cobb?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
A little bias there, maybe. That would be crazy to see two group of 5s in. I would like to see it. They might get throttled, but I'd like to see it.
If Boise State wins out, like Max said, Ashton Genty is going to be in the playoff. It's not Boise State. Ashton Genty is going to be in the playoff. And then if Army is undefeated, it's kind of like, I mean, why not? I mean, why can you not put them in there? They might get smashed. And I think my bias comes from my love of the USA more than my love for the commit. And I think Army could be the 12th team to make it in. I mean, there would be plenty of storylines surrounding Army if they made it into the college football playoff this year.
They'd be the 12th seed. Who do we think?
12th seed, they'd play the 5, probably Texas
or Georgia, whoever doesn't win the SEC.
Yeah, get beat by 70.
Georgia Army would be fun to watch.
I mean, yeah, they would get absolutely dominated in any game that they played. But that would be sick though
it'd be fun.
Yeah, LSU and Alabama do not actually play this week, but who does play this week are the New York Jets and the Houston Texans. And that is going to be a game. Hopefully that is a get back. Can Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams get on track together like they used to back in the day? Can Aaron Rodgers continue to connect with Garrett Wilson? Can Breece Hall be a league winner fantasy-wise? Can it be a league game winner for the New York Jets? I think the biggest thing that they got to get cleaned up is their defense. But, I mean, they are favored in this game. Max, how do you feel about -2.5 for the New York Jets today?
I mean, I absolutely love the Jets tonight. I mean, their season's not completely done. If they lose this one, you might as well look forward to next year, maybe throw in Jordan Travis for a couple games at the end of the year, see if he's any good. But yeah, I mean, I absolutely love the Jets. The must-win game in New York, going up against the Texans, who are just demolished by injuries. I mean, missing their 2 leading receivers. Yeah, I mean, I've got Jets all the way.
Yeah, I mean, Jets -2.5. It's one of those games where the Houston Texans, I believe, are 6-2. And the New York Jets are 2-6, and the Jets are favored. I get like Stephon Diggs is hurt. He's out for the season. Nico Collins is hurt. They're battling injuries on the defensive side of the ball as well. They're missing linebackers or missing safeties. So that could also play a big piece as to why the New York Jets are favored in this game. But at some point, you got to see all the work that the New York Jets put in. You know, they signed Hassan Reddick. Is he going to play football this year, or like what's going on with Hassan Reddick?
I think he played last game, didn't he?
Oh, I didn't see
he
him. I mean, he didn't do squat then. I mean,
But I think he did play. I think he did play. I saw him in.
We need to see some action out of Hassan Reddick on the defensive side of the ball. Can we get? I mean, we just go out and get Devontae Adams. Can we get that connection going? At some point, it's gotta click. Something's got to give, or this team, or there's something wrong. They're cursed. BB, how did you feel about the New York Jets tonight versus the Houston Texans?
I got on my notes here. Expect the Jets to win big. I took an alt spread at -5.5. I think it was like plus 240. Saw the value. I was like, I think the Texans, they're too depleted on both sides of the ball to compete in this game, and the Jets need this win badly. Let's go down this list of stats. They are paying a 40-year-old QB ridiculous money. They're firing their head coach. They're trading for superstar receivers. Correct me if I'm wrong here. They have 2 top 15 receivers.
Yeah, maybe
okay.
top 10.
Okay, see, I had it at top 10 at first, changed to top 15. They have a top 5 corner.
Yep.
Yeah.
They have a top 5 running back.
Top 3. Yep.
Top 3. They have a top 10 D tackle in Quinnen Williams. He had 12 sacks last year.
Yep.
That's got to be top 10 D tackle, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And these guys are still losing. How?
It doesn't make sense.
How? I think it's a must-win. The rest of their schedule isn't too tough. I think their hardest game they have remaining is at the Bills, and I think that's in Week 17. So that could have playoff implications down the stretch. I see the Jets getting a win here. Jets getting on a win streak, and let's let A-Rod ride.
Yeah, I completely agree. And we got this from Zach Beard. He says Vegas is baiting. Wants people to lose their money on the Texans.
Yep.
Jets by 90.
That's what you like to hear is an alt spread better there. That's what you like to hear. Jets by 90.
That's an alt spread to have. But then we get Caden Jones who says, give me the Texans. Wow. It seems like our chat is completely torn on what to do with this game, but we are all on the same page. I know that the Houston Texans have CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud is one of the best young quarterbacks in the entire league. They have D'Amico Ryans. He's one of the best young coaches in the league. They've got Will Anderson, who has been showing up very strongly this season, but I don't think that they have enough power on the opposite side of the ball. I think the New York Jets find some form of a way to win this game, and I think they look a lot better than people. And the conversation tomorrow will be how many games in a row can the New York Jets win, as BB said. I think Aaron Rodgers has a great night, and I'm excited to hear what Max has as his immortal locks of the day. He came on earlier talking about he may or may not have more than one. And he doesn't give out mortal locks like candy on Halloween. He gives out mortal locks every now and then, and he says that Maxie has some mortal locks today. So let's see. Maxie is now 1-0 on mortal locks. Let's see what he's got for us today. Last primetime game, Maxie Stats put together an absolute weapon of a bet. Russell Wilson over 198.5 passing yards. And Maxie Stats is back with another mortal lock. What do you have for us today, Max?
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about it. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. This is DraftKings odds -110. Give me the New York Jets -2 in prime time. I mean, I absolutely love it because I think this is a must-win game for the Jets. I mean, I think I really am not super sold on the Texans. I think they're a good team. I'm not super sold. I mean, I think this is the game the Jets finally turn it around. And I mean, I was doing some research and I saw that I think 70% of bets were on Texans spread. So I mean, fading the public in prime time, oh man, I mean, you literally couldn't ask for a better spot to be. So that is my one mortal lock of the day. That's the only one I'm doing. Because I love it so much. I'm gonna do that. I'm not gonna get aggressive and push anything else. But I do have a same game parlay. We didn't hit that one last week, but
Okay.
we're coming back better than ever. So here's what we got. We've got Breece Hall, anytime touchdown. I think last week the Jets had I think they were on the 1 yard line 3 times. Aaron Rodgers dropped back to pass twice, and then they gave one to Braylon Allen because Breece Hall was tired because he just had like a 40-yard run or something. So I think Breece Hall gets in the end zone. I've got Joe Mixon, 4 receptions. I think Mixon's been a huge weapon for the Texans this year. I think he's had over 100 yards on the ground in 4 of the 5 games he's played in. And now with Diggs and Nico Collins out, I think Stroud's going to want to get the ball to the pretty much the only playmaker that they have that's still playing football. And then to finish it out, I've got the Jets money line. We're just doubling down. That is a plus 470 odds. Lock it in.
Okay. I like that. And I think Caden Jones agrees with you. He's got Joe Mixon legacy game tonight. And Pierce believes in everything that you say. He calls you Maxie's stats just like everybody else. So I feel as though, hey, I'm here with it, Max. I love the mortal lock. I think we all love the mortal lock. I didn't know that the 70% of the money was on the Houston Texans. That
blows my mind. That blows my mind. Did people not know?
Yeah. People have lost faith in Aaron Rodgers, but I haven't. So
it's crazy.
We'll see.
Yeah, no, we will see, and it's gonna be a multiple unit sort of bet, I guess, tonight. I mean, especially with it becoming a mortal lock, we got to see, Max, if we can fill up that entire paper with straight check marks. Let's see.
That's the goal. I mean, I'm not coming on here and just throwing out random stuff. So, and you were talking about units. I've got 3 units on that mortal lock
tonight. All right, Max has 3 big units on that mortal lock tonight. We've also got Joe Mixon over 4.5 receptions.
No, 3.5 receptions, and that is okay. I do like that if you want to take that as a straight bet because it is plus money. It is plus 105. I think last week he had 5 receptions last week. So
okay. Joe Mixon over 3.5 there. And then again, doubling down on the old Jets. We got the Jets money line in the parlay as well. And then we have Breece Hall, who happens to be on Max's fantasy football team. You can just about guarantee that every single time that he plays a parlay, one of the guys is on his team. And he is in that parlay as well. So let's see what Maxie can get done tonight. I like the parlay. I'm a big fan of that parlay. So let's see if we can fill this thing up, Max, with a couple of big-time dubs. Max, I don't know if you saw this one here from Trayvon Diggs after the Dallas Cowboys lost last week. He talks to a reporter.
Now that whole play, that's what you took from that? You don't know football. You can't do nothing that I do. You can't go out there and do nothing. Stay in your lane, buddy. Stop playing with me, bro.
Just asking the question, Trayvon. I mean, I'm happy to have you answer the question.
That whole play, that's what you took for that? That's what you got from that whole play. That's what you got from that.
I'm asking. We can talk about it more. What were you doing then?
Talk about these nuts.
Wow.
Talk about these nuts. And not only that, I don't even think that was the most disrespectful thing that he said in that video. He called him a big, fat, juicy buddy in that one as well. You can't do nothing that I do. You don't know ball. Stay in your lane, buddy. I just feel like that is potentially the most disrespectful thing that you could possibly say to anybody. Is there anything more disrespectful than a capital B on top of a buddy?
I don't think so. I really don't think so. The only thing that I can really even think about. I know if like you're going in for a handshake with someone, and they like grab your hand and yank your hand forward, you're like, okay, I'm not quite sure what that's all about, but no, I mean, Buddy is ridiculous.
Yeah,
Especially
if
capital
somebody
B.
yanks you in on a handshake, they're calling you little bro, straight up.
Yeah. But
BB, is there anything worse than being called a hardcore buddy?
I don't even know if it's as bad as that, but something that like kind of makes me feel like this guy's trying to make me feel small. So when they call me pal, it's like, oh, that's okay, pal. Who are you? Who are you, mister?
Don't call me buddy. Don't call me pal. Don't sprinkle in the sport.
Sport. Don't get me going on sport.
Don't give me sport.
If you call me sport, man. Yeah.
Your baby. If you get called sport, you're baby.
And and you're cool with sport, like, get out of here, champ. Yeah, that's sport is unacceptable, but a hardcore buddy from the man Trayvon Diggs. But we're going to pull back because recently they also had a makeup moment, and this is what happened with them, I think, yesterday.
I'll go ranch. I'm not a banana guy.
All right, here you go.
Which one's you?
I'll go with these.
Yeah?
Banana pudding.
You see a fan sent some of these to the station too, man.
Cheers. All good.
My bad, man. If I misread the play, I appreciate you apologizing. I'm sorry too.
That's appreciate you.
Thanks, man.
Good.
So they apologized. They got it all sorted out. Everybody's all good. Nobody yanked anybody in for the handshake. Things are all clean. Apologies from Trayvon Diggs. Apologies from that reporter. And I also feel as though, since we're in the season of apologizing, I have to apologize as well, because I thought that Trayvon Diggs was talking about his nutsack. They were talking about the nuts in the edible, the actual nuts. That's what they were talking. That's what he was talking about in that video. So my bad. I had a big moment there where I thought he was talking about nutsacks, but he was not. He was talking about he was talking about peanuts. He was talking about peanuts. He was talking about the salty nuts that you get at a baseball game or something like that. So apologies there to Trayvon Diggs. We are moving on, and we're going to now talk a little bit about fantasy football. Max, you're a big fantasy football guy. We've talked trades just about every single day for the past 8 to 9 weeks. We are yet to come down to a deal. You are moving yourself properly on down the waiver wire order. You're getting closer every single week. And I want to know, we'll ask BB first. Who are some guys that you have as potential fantasy football league winners this year, BB?
League winners. Should we stay in Charlotte?
If you got somebody in Charlotte, let's do it.
It's ridiculous, man.
Max doesn't like it. We just traded away our best playmaker, Deontay Johnson. Who do we go for? A guy that's probably going to be on the field for greater than 70% of snaps the rest of the year. We got Bryce Young at QB still this week. Don't know how we feel about that still. But Jalen Coker is a nice young undrafted free agent that we have, and I think he could be a fantasy football league winner down the stretch. Another one we got. We had this segment yesterday as well. I'm going to stick to my guns. Give me Jameis Winston and Cleveland. Although, like I said yesterday, QBs aren't as important. But down the stretch, you need that 3 TD, 4 TD performance from your QB. Expect Jameis to get it done. There might be an interception or two sprinkled in there, but he'll get you 300 plus and 3 tutties. Any other league winners? I don't think so. Give me those two.
I've got 4 completely different ones. Some actual league winners. So the first one I'm going to go with, I know Key, you're going to like this. I've got Josh Downs, but that has an asterisk only if Joe Flacco is the starting QB. If Anthony Richardson is the starting QB, take him down.
Interesting.
Horrible. The second one I've got is Cade Otton. With Chris Godwin being out for the year, Mike Evans is out for 4 or 5 weeks. If you need some wins, if he's still available on waivers, pick up Cade Otton. He had a huge game last week. I think he's the primary receiver in that offense right now. So, and then 3, I've got David Njoku staying with the tight ends. I guess like BB said, Jameis. I think Njoku's had over 20 targets in the last 2 games that Jameis has played in. So Yeah, give me him. And then the last one I've got, give me Tyrone Tracy. New York Giants.
Max.
What league are you in where he's still on waivers?
And what league are you in where Tyrone Tracy is given enough points to be a league winner?
I like Tracy. I like Tracy.
Tyrone Tracy. He is a good player. He is an explosive back. He has the receiving upside because he played receiver in college. And going back to last week, that's why I took him. I took his receiving yards last week is because he was a receiver in college turned running back. So, I mean, obviously that bet didn't hit last week, but Tyrone Tracy, you can lock him in if he plays this week. I know he just got a concussion against the Steelers, but he's a good player.
Okay, Tyrone
we have
Tracy.
some messages in chat for some other league winners that people are calling out. They're saying maybe Xavier Legette from Micah Randall. Like the profile picture there, Micah. Hop on dollar bill, why don't you? Caden Jones also says no XL. So we got a couple of Xavier Legette lovers in the chat. I can back that up. I can back that up for sure.
Yeah, I'm not really taking the Panthers wide receiver 3 as a league winner because I'm pretty sure Adam Thielen's back this week. So I'm not taking the Panthers wide receiver.
Can you guys guess whose fantasy team Adam Thielen's on? Maxi Stats.
Could it be? Yeah, it could be Max's, couldn't it? Huh.
So you're really going to sit here and say that Coker is over Thielen on the depth chart whenever Thielen had a terrific year last year?
I mean, I don't know, maybe not above Coker, but we're going for sleepers here. But XL,
I mean, Thielen.
XL's wide receiver 1. XL's wide receiver 1.
We don't know.
XL is not wide receiver 3 in Carolina, bro.
Who?
Xavier Legette is not wide.
We were just talking about him. We weren't talking about Coker anymore. We weren't talking about
no, we're talking about your sleeper.
Yeah. Thank goodness we got a camera on Max. Thank goodness we got a camera on Max.
I like Legette, but Legette's, I feel like he's one of those guys that just runs straight down the field. So give me the guy who's going to line up in the slot, Adam Thielen.
He hasn't caught a streak yet this year. We're still waiting on it.
Yeah, and that's because of what? Because of why?
Clearly, you say that's all he can do. I haven't seen him catch one yet. He gets that ball and he runs.
I don't think he will for the rest of the year. Bryce Young's the quarterback because he doesn't have the arm strength to get it down there.
Good.
There is Max with his flying colors. But we're talking about Tyrone Tracy as the best running back in the league all of a sudden.
No one said that. We're talking about league winners here.
I mean, we'll see. Ours were pretty similar. We were looking pretty good, and then you wanted to sprinkle in some guys that were only on your fantasy team already. But I think Cade Otton is going to be an absolute league winner. Baker Mayfield is quarterback 2 right now, and he throws for 300 yards just about every single game. He doesn't have Chris Godwin anymore. He doesn't have Mike Evans. Who knows when Mike Evans is coming back, if he's coming back at all. Cade Otton is going to be a guy that he has to rely on, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are not going to stop throwing the football because those 2 guys are out. And the ball's got to go to somebody. Cade Otton, give me that. Josh Downs is going to be a certified league winner. I mean, with Joe Flacco, he puts up points. He's a separator. He's elite with the ball in his hands. I love Josh Downs going down the stretch. And finally, a guy in San Francisco, I love Ricky Pearsall to be potentially the number 1 league winner. Deebo Samuel is hurt like every single game. I'm not kidding. Every single time I turn on the San Francisco game, I see Deebo Samuel getting taken back to the locker room for something. And now Brandon Ayuk is done for. I mean, Juwan Jennings put up 40 points in the San Francisco offense. Ricky Pearsall is going to be the guy going forward. I love it. We have Christian McCaffrey coming back. That offense is going to be even more electric as the season goes on. And Ricky Pearsall is going to be an absolute league winner in fantasy football.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like the 49ers. I like the 49ers a lot. They were in my top 5. They were in my top 5 the other night.
Somehow I feel like Kyle Shanahan he's just an offensive guru. He kind of cooks people legitimately wide open. and
does.
all Purdy has to do is get the ball to the guys. So, I mean,
think-
those are – what'd you say, Max?
No, I was just going to say I think Brandon Ayuk is probably the most overrated receiver in the entire league, and he was being a diva this offseason about holding out, asking for money. And, I mean, even the games he did play, I know he dropped a couple touchdowns early in the year, and I think that's a direct cause of not showing up to training camp and just not ready. So,
Yeah. I mean, Brandon Ayuk, somehow he ended up getting paid this year and just did not produce to the dollars that he was paid. Like not even close. So I don't really know what the San Francisco 49ers have in store, but I'm sure Kyle Shanahan's going to come up with some. And I loved Ricky Pearsall coming out of the draft. I've tried to trade for Ricky Pearsall a couple of times in our league, and getting Zach on the phone to get a deal done is dang near impossible. So I cannot get Ricky Pearsall, but I do have Josh Downs, Max and BB. I do have Josh Downs, and you guys can dial the phones as much as you want, but he's not coming cheap. He's not coming cheap.
Max is he's a Josh Downs hater for some reason. I'm not quite sure on it. Thinks he's a bad football player.
Hater. Not quite sure. Hater. I just had him as on there as a league winner. So yeah, I'm not quite sure where that's coming from.
Okay.
All right, Max. Let's see if we can get a deal done for Marvin Harrison Jr. on live. Let's see what you got. Let's go ahead and get a deal done on live television today. I can get you Marvin Harrison Jr. and I'm going to need Adam Thielen mixed into that trade, and I can give you Josh Downs and
yeah, Cedric Tillman.
Cedric Tillman's good.
That's what I was telling him, dude.
He hit Judy. Corey Davis, Cedric Tillman, and Njoku. Like, there's 4 guys there. I mean,
Corey Davis.
Or who? No, not
Corey Davis. He been in the league in 40. Corey Davis.
Elijah Moore. Sorry, Elijah Moore. These guys are just. I mean, they're both just pretty mid receivers. So.
Yeah, I feel like you're listening.
Cedric Tillman. That's why Cedric Tillman's going to pop off, because Judy and Elijah Moore are mid.
Well,
I feel like you're listening, Judy,
to be the number 1 guy in Cleveland. I mean, there definitely is enough volume for 2 guys to eat, because Jameis throws the ball 50 times a game.
Yeah, minimum 40.
He's going to sling it. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So I mean,
but who was the second player in who was the second player in that trade?
I mean, I could definitely get you Cedric Tillman right now.
No.
Okay, BB, you tell me what you thought about this trade that I would offer from Max yesterday. I have to give him Josh Downs and DeAndre Hopkins for Marvin Harrison Jr. and Adam Thielen.
It's a good trade. I think
that's a good trade. I mean, the trade you just offered to him on live, I don't think that's a bad deal. But going back a couple of weeks, Max probably feels like he's getting scammed. He's like, this guy's going to be 2 waiver wire players for a first round pick. But I do think that other trade is a little more reasonable, and I think if both sides are happy with who they're getting, then I don't think it's unfair in either way.
Well, the fact that I offered it to Key, and he kind of just spit in my face with his response. So I mean, I don't really know what that's all about. Trying to get this guy to get a deal done is impossible.
I mean, me and Key make trades every year.
Well, I guess that's why it's you two on the show together, because I mean, obviously there's some between us that just does not sit well fantasy football.
I mean, I would, Max, you have a guy that I want, and I'd love to get a deal done. I just feel like giving up DeAndre Hopkins. Hopkins is like, he's about to be he's not washed. I mean, I thought he was washed last year, a couple years ago too, and like he's kind of keeps showing up. So, and now he's got a top, maybe the best, some say best quarterback of all time, potentially, Some people do say that. Do people not say Patrick Mahomes?
He's not in the top 5 right now. But we'll get into that probably next week.
That is the most blasphemy thing. Patrick Mahomes is not a top 5 QB in the league?
No, not right now.
Okay, Max. So who's your
free
top
clips,
five
buddy.
QBs in the league, buddy? Who's your top five QBs in the
Let's
league?
do that. Yeah,
Okay.
I like that.
So we're gonna have to do this. So are we talking to build a future with, or right now who I want on my team?
I mean, just encapsulate all of it into a top 5 quarterbacks.
Okay,
in
all
the
of it
NFL.
together.
Yeah.
All of it together. Okay. Number one, I'll go Lamar Jackson. Reigning MVP, probably will be 2-time MVP this year.
3-time.
I meant back to back. Number two, give me Josh Allen.
This is about
Josh Allen. The stuff that guy can do is incredible. I mean, he will lower your shoulder, run through your face mask, and he will throw one 70 yards over the top of the defense. Number three, I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to go with the young lad out of Washington. Give me Jaden Daniels.
Like he's come on.
The number 3 QB in the league?
Like,
whoa!
If I'm building a future as an NFL GM, I would pick him number one. The whole and out of every quarterback in the league, I'm picking him number one.
Ladies and gentlemen in the chat, can you guess who his fantasy team Jaden Daniels is on?
Max, so you are telling me right now that he is better than CJ Stroud, Joe Burrow. He's better. He's not better. I don't even think he's better than Kyler Murray, Patrick Mahomes. He's better than all these guys right now.
Yes, and don't even get me started on Joe Burrow. I'm about had up to here with him.
I don't even. Is he the best QB in his draft class? Give me Drake May.
Yeah, right.
Give me Drake May. Give me Drake May.
Number 4.
Oh my god.
Give me number 4. Gosh, this is when it gets hard. The top 3 is pretty. This is
because you're trying not to include Mahomes, and it's blasphemy.
No, that's not why. Because I've got 3 guys that I think are all pretty much in the same tier. I've got Burrow, Stroud, Jordan Love, and then
Daniels isn't better than Jordan Love, Max.
Yes, he is. He takes care of the ball. Jordan Love is erratic with his passes. But I'll go CJ Stroud 4, Joe Burrow 5.
I mean,
Mahomes has 3 rings.
He's getting carried by his defense, man. He's had a top 3 defense last year and this year.
I don't care if he scored.
Look at his stats this year.
Okay, yeah, his offense is depleted this year. I mean, his running back's been hurt since week 1. His tight end's 40 years old. They're having a trade for DeAndre Hopkins. His wide receiver 1's hurt. I mean, give the guy a break. He's won 3 rings.
And we're going to act like Jaden Daniels has weapons. I mean, yeah, Terry McLaurin's good. Austin Eckler, who is washed. Brian Robinson.
You just named their RB2. You just named their backup running back.
Okay.
Come on, man.
Their wide receiver 2 is Luke McCaffrey. Their wide receiver 3, I don't even know.
Max, Luke McCaffrey is not wide receiver 2.
Who is? Noah
I'm
Brown?
pretty sure it's the guy
Noah
from
Brown,
UNC.
De'Ami
Brown sucks.
That guy's not in the NFL. And then their tight end is Zach Ertz. You want to talk about someone who's 40?
Okay. Let's back because Patrick Mahomes has 2 MVPs, 3 chips. I don't know how many Super Bowl MVPs. We're crowning a guy because he threw a Hail Mary ball and scored. He hasn't. He has nothing.
Why.
Max, he doesn't have anything to his name yet, and we are glazing this man as the 3rd best QB in the league.
Yeah, that I want to start a future with, and that's performing right now. Yeah, give me Jaden Daniels.
That's blasphemy.
He's completely turned around the Washington Commanders franchise.
Okay, can we get a full recap of your top 5 QBs? I need them in order.
Give me Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels, CJ Stroud, Joe Burrow.
Let us know what you guys think about that in the comments below, because that's a free clip.
All right. Yeah. I mean, we got, I think this is our most viewers of all time, baby. We got 4 big ones in the chat. Drop what you think about Max's top 5 and drop a couple of W's in the chat while you're in there as well. Oh my God, dude. This is good, Max. This is why we love having our man Maxi Stats. We were all rolling pretty hot. We were feeling pretty good. You had a nice mortal lock of the day, and then you do what Maxi does. And that's just have a crazy take just to end things off, man.
Yeah, just to wrap up the show, just to make things clear, we're all 3 big on the Jets tonight, right?
We're big on the Jets.
Okay. Lock that in. Lock in the New York Jets tonight, fellas. It's free money.
I might have to throw a couple more units on the Jets now we're talking about it.
Hop on the alt spread with me. Minus 5.5 plus 250. They got to win by a touchdown?
I'll hop
just
on
a touchdown. Come on.
Yeah, I love that. But we are going to go ahead and get up on out of here, man. I mean, we had a great episode. Today was a lot of fun. Tomorrow is a Freaky Friday, and we are going to continue to celebrate sports all the way through the weekend. We got a big slate of college football on Saturday. We got a big game tonight. We got a mortal lock that everybody needs to keep their eyes out on. Can Aaron Rodgers and the boys get things right? Is Max going to bless the New York Jets with a mortal lock of the week? I believe so. And I think we're going to be – go ahead.
We could be getting on here down really bad tomorrow afternoon if the New York Jets lose, because we've been talking them up. So we could be eating our words, but nonetheless, it'll be a good Friday.
Or we could open up this show with wads of cash, just straight counting them, baby. So let's find out. I'm excited for the game tonight. Everybody tune in, and we're going to be back tomorrow with another banger. And we're going to review all the picks for tonight. We're going to talk a little bit more about college football. We're going to go all the way through the weekend, and we're going to celebrate a little bit of Halloween today for some people, but not for everybody. It's going to be spooky out there today. Everybody stay safe. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Let's throw the fists up in there one more time today, guys.
Let's do it.
We went 1-0 today. I believe we did. We get a little bit closer to where we want to be. Nobody's going to be perfect yet, but hey, that's why we grind every single day, fellas. That's why we show up. That's why we show out. And we are excited to build this thing to the moon. Thank you guys so much for showing out. I hope somehow, some way, the boys were able to make you smile today. And I hope that you can go out and do the same, fellas. Thank you guys. Tick, tick, tick.
Boom.
Later.